Work management platforms. Ugh, endless onboarding, IT bottlenecks, admin requests. But what if things were different?
We found love in an open space.
Monday.com is different. No lengthy onboarding. Beautiful reports in minutes. Custom workflows you can build on your own. Easy to use prompt-free AI. Turns out you can love a work management platform. Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
Why do I feel like this? Why am I crying in my hotel room after this incredible day I had? I was surrounded by all these amazing women and role models. It was because I truly still didn't feel worthy. And for me at the time, that worthiness was connected to the number on the scale.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by the brilliant Bree Tucker.
Why, hello, everybody. How are you?
Guys, I am so proud of that alliteration, by the way. Yes.
I was going to say, I was listening to our original episodes the other day, going through, looking for some content and everything. And our very first, I would say probably the first 4 months, you had a different adjective every time. It was amazing. I think you were going through the alphabet.
I was. The alliteration is back, baby. I was on a Joe with Joe this morning in our balance group, and I was like, brilliant, Bree, why haven't I used that before? And Bree's here in the comments, you have. And I'm like, okay.
But I love it. We can keep using that because with 2 teens and an ex-husband, I don't hear that I'm brilliant too often. Yeah.
You need to hear that you're brilliant. Oh my gosh. I have a follow-up to that, giving girl love. We'll talk about that in the outro. So guys, come back for that. Is advice from my teenager on how to be a girl's girl. So we'll talk about that in the outro. But right now, we are starting Women's Health Month, and we get so many questions here in our Balance community and at No Guilt Mom about how do I stay on track with a health plan? There are so many women who have goals, who want to lose weight, who want to feel better, who want to be more energetic. And so our guest today is going to help you with that, with some daily routines and habits that she has. I'd like to introduce you to Kaitlyn Talamante. She's the owner and CEO of LadyBoss. LadyBoss has helped hundreds of thousands of women take control of their health, confidence, and mindset. But she's not just leading the company, she's a lady boss herself. Her journey started as a customer where she lost 75 pounds and completely transformed her life. Now she's on a mission to empower other women to do the same. Kaitlyn believes that every woman has the power to rewrite her story, and through LadyBoss, she's helping them do just that. One shake, one workout, and one mindset shift at a time. So with that, let's get on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast.
Welcome, Kaitlyn, to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Joanne and Bree, for having me on, especially as we get into kicking off Women's Wellness Month. It's I get to talk about my favorite topic.
Yeah. May is an interesting month, I think. I love that it is a focus on women's health because let's just be honest, we kind of get swept under the rug as the last priority in so many situations. But also, May is a month made to make our lives difficult as moms, because how many moms get stressed out, right? How many moms get stressed out about Mother's Day? Because if your kids are little, you're probably still the one that's planning it and trying to figure out everything for everybody to do. And when they're older, you run the risk of teens that don't do anything to celebrate. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not bitter at all. And then you also have end of school. Teacher appreciations, recitals every 5 minutes, concerts. Oh my God, May is just a blessing and a curse.
There is so much to keep track of.
Yeah.
And something, Kaitlyn, that we get asked all the time is how do you make time for actually doing the things that benefit you? We see so many women put their health on the back burner in favor of their kids' health, their kids' wellness, their kids' activities. And especially I want to dig into your story because you lost 75 pounds, which is unbelievable. Like, it's an amazing amount. So, like, take us back to where you were before that, like how you were feeling and what really led you to make that big change in your life.
Yes. So I am a career woman, but I've got two boys. I've got a teenager and a 6-year-old and a husband. So I might as well have three boys.
Yep. Yep.
Love them to death, but you might as well have three. And it is hard. It is tough to juggle all the things. I mean, it took me a long time to learn this, but you can't pour from an empty cup.
True.
And so I really had to focus on me and prioritize that me time. And actually, when I first started my journey back in 2019, I lost 65 pounds, but I did it in an extreme all or nothing way, which as women, we tend to do. We get on this, I'm on a diet trend, which means we give up all the healthy food and we work 20 times harder. And really, it's not sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, it was 2 days at the gym and 100% clean eating.
Oh, wow.
Which one, who's going to ever eat clean 100% of the time?
It's a hard
And
thing
then
to
I had
do.
two kids. One was a
Right?
newborn at the time. Like,
Yeah.
2 days at the gym, that's definitely not sustainable. Like,
Girl, I'm lucky if I get 2 a week at the gym. But go on. Go on.
yeah. Yeah. No. And so guess what happened? I gained it all back.
Yeah.
Every last pound of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you get, it's almost like it hurts more that second time, right? Like after you've had such an accomplishment.
It is heartbreaking. You put in all the work and then all of a sudden it's gone. You have to restart.
That's a hard thing. So, like, wait, let me get it straight. You were going to the gym 2 times a day during that time? Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, like, what made you stop that habit of 2 times a day and the clean eating?
Well, one, first off, it's not sustainable.
No.
But we ran into some worldly things that happened, COVID, that kind of shut everything down. And so one, it wasn't sustainable with work and all the things. So it started faltering there. But when that train hit, that hit really hard there.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure so many people can relate with COVID, just taking them out of their
Yeah.
routine and like making them basically start over from the beginning. So, like, what then was your process like when you're like, okay, I gained this weight all back? Like, what was the like decision moment where you're like, I'm going to do this again and I'm going to do it differently?
So one thing that I loved about my transformation in 2019 is, while it failed and I fell off, I had done a lot of work on my state. So I thought. So I showed up confidently. I was proud of who I was to the point I didn't even realize I had gained the weight back. But December of 2022, I found myself at a work event in Boise, Idaho, crying in my hotel room. And that forced me to do a deep dive into why. Like, I'm happy with who I am, right? Like, why do I feel like this? Why am I crying in my hotel room after this incredible day I had? I was surrounded by all these amazing women and role models.
Yeah.
And it was because I truly still didn't feel worthy. And for me at the time, that worthiness was connected to the number on the scale. And I was able to see it then that I had put the weight back on. And so I had to get a deep dive into, why did I put it on and why did I fall off? Because I don't want to have to restart again for a third time. Because, Brie, as you said, it's not a great feeling.
No. Yeah, I've been there before. I'm dealing with that right now where I had like a weight loss and then I put it all back on. And it's just, you feel like that voice in your head is not nice. We'll just say that.
No. Negative Nancy is mean. I like to turn up Positive Betty is what I call her.
Positive Betty. Ooh, we call her
Yes.
the negative
I like
voice
that.
Bob in our head. Bob, who's always telling us what to do and like making us do all the things. Because like, first of all, like weight is such a tricky issue, I think, for women, because like all three of us, we really grew up in a time where this ultimate like skinny ideal was perpetuated amongst like all culture. And so it's very hard.
Kate
Moss, like everybody, if you go back and watch MTV Spring Break, oh my gosh.
The Victoria's Secret fashion shows or
Yeah,
the model shows,
Yeah.
or they're nitpicking on the little bit of cellulite that, like, oh, I can't believe we grew up in that. Like, it breaks my heart when I look back at all that.
We
Yeah.
did. We grew up in a really hard area. And like, I actually developed an eating disorder during that time as well. And so anytime like we bring on guests about weight loss and stuff on the podcast, I have this little bit of a pause because I'm like, okay, what are we doing? How are we sustaining like health? How are we really putting women forward instead of telling women that they have to fit in a particular body? But there's this other element where you're like, I just don't feel good in my body at all. I don't feel energetic. I don't feel like I am me. So it sounds like you came to that realization, Kaitlyn, just not feeling like you're me. And you're like, I have to do this sustainably now. So what was the next step that you
Yes.
took?
Well, after I did the deep dive and I figured out all the things, I mean, obviously I didn't figure out all the things overnight, but I figured out where I had failed. And I was able to dive back into the LadyBoss boss method, which is very similar to your balance method for moms, only specialized for weight loss inside of our LadyBoss community. And it's state, shape, sparkle, and success. And with our boss method, in 2019, I did it my way. I didn't actually do it the LadyBoss way. I was still learning.
Mhm.
This time around, I did it the LadyBoss way, where I've made sustainable changes. I continue to pour into my state and my mindset so I can continue my growth, whether personally or professionally. But now I look at everything like 80-20. 80% nutrition, 20% moving my body. 80% nutritional food, 20% fun food. 80% intentional workouts, 20% moving my body for fun. And so that did not happen overnight, right? I had to layer all of that on. But it had to be sustainable, and eating 100% clean is, I'm going to have my Baskin Robbins mint chocolate chip ice cream. I'm going to have my Oreos. Like, they're not going to go away forever.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Not happening.
Not happening.
I'm not doing 2-a-days at the gym. No, sorry. In fact, this time around, I've barely stepped foot in a gym because that's not something I enjoy doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it had to be sustainable, and how can I maintain it? And so really focusing on those items and learning how to fuel my body correctly. So that way I do have the energy. So I can play with my kids. So I can bounce on the trampoline. Like, I'm doing activities with my kids now that, like, 2 years ago, I definitely wasn't doing. In fact, people were like, maybe you should be, like, you might hurt yourself. And it wasn't because I was being crazy. It was because of my weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's opened up a whole new world of things I'm able to do. Just even looking at something as simple as the energy and excitement I have for life when I wake up every morning.
Okay, so I would really want to get into the nitty gritty with you about this, especially like what a day in your life looks like, and what a day in your life looked like that first week or two you were starting. Because I know that everybody finds that that is the hardest part about starting a new routine, those first few weeks.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that right after this.
Dear old work platform, it's not you, it's us. Actually, it is you. Endless onboarding? Constant IT bottlenecks? We've had enough. We need a platform that just gets us. And to be honest, we've met someone new. They're called Monday.com, and it was love at first onboarding. Their beautiful dashboards, their customizable workflows got us floating on a digital cloud 9. So no hard feelings, but we're moving on. Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
Long gone are the days of waiting to be seen in a doctor's office only to have that awkward conversation with your healthcare provider. Wisp gives you access to sexual and reproductive healthcare from the comfort of your home. Get treatment for BV, yeast infections, UTIs, and much more delivered directly to your home or ready for pickup at your local pharmacy in less than 3 hours. The best part? Wisp is discreet, convenient, and you don't need medical insurance to receive care or prescription medication. Visit us today at hellowisp.com.
Uh-oh, the last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
So, Kaitlyn, you mentioned this huge change that you really undertook and you wanted to make it sustainable. So, take us back when you first decided to do this. What did your first day look like when you're like, I have to start these habits and routines to make it sustainable? How did you prepare?
I looked at where I had failed, and I started by making a list of what I had to focus on. And for LadyBoss, it's our boss method. But I wanted to layer it on. And because I had spent the night in my hotel room crying, I knew I had some room, massive room, I needed to work on my state and my mindset. And so I started with that. And I then deep dived into my shape, nutrition specifically. What does my body actually need to thrive? And I broke it down into 2 components because I am not a meal prepper. I'm not going to count my calories. Like, I don't have time for that. I'm too busy. I don't want to. I'm not going to make a meal that has 20 million recipes. I looked at what does my body need? Protein and water. And so those were 2 things I started prioritizing. So I worked on my state. I focused on getting my water, which goes everywhere with me. Every day, and focused on. I love it.
Okay, we need to do like a snippet later of like all of our water.
Yes. Yes. And protein. And for so long, protein was almost this bad thing for women, or at least it was for me, where it's like protein makes you bulky. Protein's for men. Protein's going to make you beef up.
That was the general consensus. Yeah.
I never really understood that. No, your body needs protein. That is energy. It is a powerhouse for your metabolism and your skin elasticity and collagen helps thrive when you have protein. And a lot of times we're like, okay, first off, probably not even counting protein right now, right? So who knows how much you've had today. But we look at like, okay, I had 30, 50 grams of protein.
It's not enough.
Really low.
Yeah.
That's really low. And I didn't know this at first. I wasn't counting proteins or anything the first time around. And this time I looked at, am I getting my water? Am I hitting my protein goal, which was like 120 grams of protein a day at the time? And have I worked on personal development? The reason personal development is so huge is, one, you have to believe in yourself, but motivation fails. I can be as excited as I want today to lose weight and start this new journey, but motivation doesn't last. Habits last. And so working on my state continue to help drive that habit forward.
Okay. So I have questions for you, Kaitlyn. Protein, first of all. What are your go-to protein sources? Like, how do you work that into your day so you make that a habit?
So I'm biased because I own LadyBoss. I love it.
Yeah.
So we have LadyBoss Lean. It's our protein meal replacement shake. I love that. But I will also be the first to preference, like, you can't just get all your protein from a protein shake. Please don't do that. But for me, I start my day off every morning with my coffee, a protein shake, and my water. I'm not a big breakfast person, and I'm normally carrying all my drinks out the door as I'm running kids to school. And so that is my breakfast. Lunch looks like something like, I call them adult pizza rolls. They're like high protein pepperoni tortilla wraps. They're delicious.
Where do you get these?
I make them. If I can eat them before my kids eat them, which big help. The kids like them, but they're turkey pepperoni, healthy tortillas, cottage cheese, mozzarella cheese, and marinara sauce all mixed up, and you bake them and then you pop them in the microwave when you need one.
That sounds amazing, and I want that for lunch right now.
I know, same here.
As my
They're delicious.
So you have the protein shake and like the pizza rolls, and then what about like, what does your dinner look like and your snacks throughout the day?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have to like do protein snacks?
I do, because I'm a snacker, and for me, it's a protein ball. It's protein bars, it's cheese roll-ups, it's turkey roll-ups, maybe it's some Greek yogurt. The key to it for me, again, I'm not a meal prepper. Not at all. I'm not carrying my meals. I'm not heating them up in the break room microwave. It has to be quick, easy, convenient. So even down to my lunches, if I took you to my kitchen right now, you would see that I have a whole stack in my pantry of my snacks I can grab and go. Lunch options that I can make in under 5 minutes. And then same with snack options in my fridge that I can grab and go. So I set it up where I don't have an excuse, because if you don't have it readily to go, that's when you end up in the drive-thru.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Or DoorDash.
That is my kryptonite, is like long days, super busy. If I don't have stuff ready to go right then and there, and then I'm also like a bit of an emotional eater. Do you ever find yourself there too, of like, if I had a really bad day, even though I have like the most delicious like snacks upstairs, like I don't want that. I want to eat my feelings.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's the truth.
I want the ice cream.
Yes.
Bring on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice warm piece of pizza or cheeseburger, that works well.
So you have all of your protein ready and available for you to make
Mm-hmm.
sure you get that 120 grams a day, making it easy. That 5 minutes or less for lunch, that's a big game changer, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I want to eat for lunch. Oh, I think I'll get some Mexican food. It sounds delicious. So having that nearby is great. And your water. Now, what about your mindset, Kaitlyn? You have all this food. So how does like your mindset and like feeling confident, feeling you can do that? Like what do you work on daily to improve that mindset?
Personal development, meditation. If you have a faith background, your Bible and prayer is also a huge one. And it's so important no matter what route you take. I take multiples. One day it's a podcast, one day it's an Audible, every day it's my Bible, but I'm always layering other things on. And as you pour into yourself, no matter which route you take, you start to be more aware of the thoughts your brain is having. So when you start having those crazy cravings, instead of going to the kitchen and indulging, and before you know it, you're like, oh, crud, I just ate an entire bag of chips and a whole ream of Oreos. And so before you get to that point, yes, yes. But like, you're able to pinpoint, you're like, oh, wait, this is my brain almost going into like a starvation state, but I'm not. Am I actually even hungry? Or is this an emotion controlling me right now? And so pouring into that state, you start to be more aware of the process going on in your brain. If it's actually an emotional trigger, or if you're really hungry. Even if you're like, say your personal development is listening to a podcast about helping raise my crazy teenage child. I'm still working on my mindset. I'm able to see different perspectives, which then helps you be able to read your brain a little differently, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah.
It does. It does. It's like hard though to get over those initial cravings when you start like eating healthy. However, and I want to hear if this is your experience too, Kaitlyn, I've noticed that when I focus more on protein, I am less hungry and I have less of those cravings. Is that the same for you?
100%. 100%, because your body needs that fuel. When you have those crazy cravings, that's what it's telling you, is that there's nutrients there that are missing.
Yes.
And so what I actually do is I make a deal with myself when I get those crazy cravings. Actually, not too long ago, I was making dinner, healthy, high protein dinner, and I wanted Taco Bell. That craving was strong. I live in an area with DoorDash. Like, I had my phone out and I had to make a deal with myself. And again, it's a lifestyle, right? Like, this isn't a diet. It is a lifestyle. So I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I don't need to spend the money when I'm already making dinner. So I'm going to make my dinner. I'm going to eat my dinner. But if I still want that Taco Bell when I am done, I'm going to have it. I made that deal. I shook my own hand and I was like,
I like that deal. I think I could do that with myself. Right. I think I could. You know, and if I don't listen, then myself and I are going to sit down and have a serious talk about
gonna need one.
acknowledging boundaries and listening to me.
I love it. Yes. I can see your teenagers coming back with some, yep, mom, you need to have a conversation with yourself.
Yep. Oh, totally.
Our teenagers have conversations with us all the time about things we do wrong. So, I mean, they will definitely hold us accountable for sure.
Yes, they will. Real quick.
Yeah. So, Kaitlyn, these habits that you put in place, the water, the protein, the mindset, right after this, I want to get into like what health benefits you really saw after you started doing this on a regular basis, and kind of what your life looks like now compared to what it looked like when you were starting to make this change. And we're going to do that right after this.
Llévate más de lo que esperas todos los días con el nuevo McValue en McDonald's. Ahora puedes comprar uno y sumarle otro por $1. Así que cuando tu equipo favorito enfrente a sus rivales, enfrenta tus antojos con $5 Meal Deals. Y si estás corriendo para alcanzar el desayuno, corre al app para llevarte ofertas antes del cutoff. Tú decides, y con McValue, tu decisión siempre rinde más. Precios y participación pueden variar. BOGO $1 válido para un producto de igual o menor valor. Debe estar registrado en Rewards para ofertas en el app.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
At Capella University, you can learn at your own pace with our FlexPath learning format. Take 1 or 2 courses at a time and complete as many as you can in a 12-week billing session. With FlexPath, you can even finish the bachelor's degree you started in 22 months for $20,000. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu. Fastest 25% of students. Cost varies by PACE, transfer credits, and other factors. Fees apply.
So, Kaitlyn, we talked about before how like the hardest part of making a change with your routines and habits in your health are those first 2 weeks. And then at the beginning of the podcast, you said you had to make this sustainable. First, were there any like little hiccups along the way through this like last weight loss you did that you really had to overcome?
Oh, yes, because life gets in the way. We're moms, ladies. Like, there's always, I mean, whether we plan for it or not, something gets thrown our way. So over this transformation, there's been tons of things that get in the way.
Yeah.
But it's having that foundation and pushing for that consistency.
Yeah.
And having those trackers. Like, and I don't mean the scale. The scale is honestly, ladies, not your friend.
No.
Yeah,
it can be
never.
No.
Especially the older you get, because I feel like the older you get, the more likely your body is to fluctuate by not huge. Like, it's not like you step on the scale and the next day it's 5 pounds extra, but you will see that fluctuation, and it makes you immediately start going like, what did I do wrong? What, you know, and you start beating yourself up, and it's not worth
It's not our friend. No.
And Brie, you actually mentioned like it's not normally 5 pounds. Well, we actually do fluctuate 3 to 5 pounds a day. So I can't tell you how many times women have been like, I was 5 pounds less yesterday. What happened? Well, you've got hormones. You've got your friend every month. You've got all sorts of things happening to your body that influence that. And so that's why the scale is not, I mean, I weigh more than I weighed last year by a couple pounds. I'm not, it's like, darn it. But I put on a shirt the other day, and the shirt that fit me when I was smaller doesn't fit me anymore. It's too big.
Yeah. The scale doesn't give you an accurate representation.
Your body's constantly changing, especially as moms. I mean, the hips shift when you're pregnant, and the before body and after body, and the 1,000,001 times it's never going to be the same.
Oh,
You gotta
yeah.
love it where it's at.
For instance, I have been concentrating on more protein and more like activity in the past like few months. I haven't lost a pound, but just when I like look at myself in this video that we're recording, I could see my arms are thinner than they have been the last time I put on this shirt. And I mean, those are the kinds of things that a scale doesn't really tell you.
Yes. And let me ask you, how are you feeling now that you're focusing on that?
I'm so energetic, and I love, like, I talk about Pilates nonstop. I mean, like, I'm a so I love it.
You found something you love.
You find the things you love, and you share it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, exactly. Like, so one of the roadblocks I always have, Kaitlyn, when I'm like on, like, because I'm in a routine right now where I am being more energetic and trying to eat healthier things. When I get sick, like if I get like a flu or I get a cold and I just feel overwhelmingly crappy, all of my habits are like, I want a cheese quesadilla. I don't want to eat all the protein. Like, how do you deal with it when you get sick?
Yeah, like when you have those major just, I can't.
Knocks you down.
Yeah.
Well, remember, it's a lifestyle. It's not a diet, right? So you're allowed to have that 20% time where you can have whatever you want. You can have your Baskin Robbins, the cheese quesadilla, the Chinese food. You can have it. The biggest thing is don't be hard on yourself when you do have it. Don't feel like you failed because you had it. Keep moving forward. Like, it's okay. You did it. You had it. You enjoyed it. Hopefully now you're healthy and you're feeling better. Now we're going to get back on track.
Yeah. That's a great way to be. We tell our balance members that too. Like, it doesn't matter doing it perfectly. It matters if you come back. So come back.
It's progress over perfection.
And again
every
and
time.
again. Yeah. So like now compared to where you were pre-weight loss, like what other health benefits do you see in yourself? You mentioned you have the energy to spend with your kids. What else are you seeing?
Well, first off, weight-wise, clothes-wise, I love the way my clothes fit. My confidence is just getting higher. Like, you might think I have a big head, but you know what? But when I first started this journey, what was the big eye-opener for me is I was actually high risk of a heart attack in the next 10 years. And my family has a history of heart disease. And so now I'm happy to say that I'm not on any cholesterol meds, anything they put me on 6 years ago. My blood work looks great. I'm feeling great. So not just is it externally, it's also internally. And then even internally, I've got a light inside of me and knowledge that I just want to share with others, because I know what can happen when you unlock your mindset, when you start focusing on prioritizing your body and pouring into yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are there any boundaries that you had to set when you started your new routine? Because I know a lot of the talk is about like, oh, we could do this like easily while we take care of our families, but we don't necessarily talk about like the things we start saying no to when we make our health a priority. What have you said no to since making this like a priority for yourself?
Saying no is crucial in so many ways. Things I've had to say no to is like, I used to be like, we'll talk about alcohol for a minute. Alcohol is a big thing in today's world. I don't drink near like I used to. And you know what? I don't miss it. But I have had to say no to things, and you get that awkward, alcohol is a weird, touchy topic when you talk to people about it. Like, because society pressure is so strong when it comes to alcohol. So I would say that's the biggest one that I had to work through when it came to, no, I really don't want it. I don't want to feel like crumb tomorrow. I don't want it to take a week for this alcohol weight to fall off. I've got a life I want to live and be present for, and it doesn't involve me having too many drinks tonight.
Yeah.
And so having to say no to going out with friends and having those beverages, I think was the biggest no I had to say. But you have to, in life, you have to prioritize yourself so you can show up as your best self for your kids, for your husband, for your friends, for those that mean the most, for those you want to be present for. And so if that means saying no to PTO, then say no to PTO.
Yes,
you just
say
can't
no to
do it,
PTO.
protect that space.
And we're not talking about paid time off, people.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
wanna
paid
throw
time
that
off.
out there.
Yes.
That's a yes.
Yes.
That's a yes. That's a hell yes. PTO, PTA, we know you. We're looking you down the eyes right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's like, oh, I could start like a whole thing on that. Well, Kaitlyn, since we are talking all about routines and habits, we have a little game for you to play.
Right.
If you're up for it. This game
I'm
is
ready,
called
yes.
Habit or Fiction. And this is where I'm going to read you off different successful people's morning or evening routines, and you have to guess which one are the real habits and which one are made up.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, here's the first one. Habit or fiction? Jeff Bezos starts his day by eating a live octopus for mental clarity.
Fiction.
It is fiction. It is.
Okay.
I know you.
No way.
Oh, the squishiness of just the thought of that is making me a little.
There's all sorts of like odd
crazy.
things out there for nutrition and health, right? But I think that one's crossing the line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
the live part is what got me.
there are live octopus. Like you eat it at some sushi restaurants, I believe. Like you eat live octopus. It's a delicacy. I might be wrong out there.
I'm sure it is.
If you're listening right now and you're like, Joanne, I know this, like, please let us know. Go DM me on Instagram at No Gut Mom and tell me. Okay, here's the second one. It's about Ariana Huffington. Ariana Huffington deliberately keeps her bedroom temperature at 65 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit for optimal sleep.
Habit.
Habit, you are right. That is a habit. That is a habit.
Yes. I myself, it's like, dear, like my house is like 77 degrees right now. I don't like to be cold, but when I sleep, it's 65 all day long.
Good when you sleep because like you go under the blanket, but your like outside body's all cold and chilly. I love it. Love it. Yes. Okay. Oprah Winfrey spends 20 minutes each morning in a headstand.
Fiction. That is not true.
It is fiction. I could see Oprah doing that, honestly.
No.
I can't see anybody doing that, but that's okay.
Yes, no.
There are actually health benefits to headstands and stuff. A lot of CrossFitters do it, but that's CrossFit. That's like the crazy.
I tried it and I threw my neck out for like 3 weeks, and so I did try it as a habit. Like I wanted to actually perfect a heads. No, it's not
good.
My forte.
It's not good.
No.
Okay. Richard Branson wakes up at 5 a.m. every day to play tennis and exercise.
Habit. That is a habit.
That is his 5 a.m. habit. Wow, play tennis. Someone else has to wake up with him to play that tennis. I mean, I guess 5 isn't too early compared to like Mark Wahlberg.
See, and this is where like you have to find time to prioritize yourself. There's no excuse. You can wake wake up an hour before the kids get up. Right now, my time is 5 o'clock. So then I can get my workout in. I can get my coffee in before I've got kids climbing on me, before running out the doors like crazy people. But I have to have that protected space, right? And so that's where it's like 5 a.m. is early. It is hard, but man, I accomplish so much more in my day.
I see that too.
I feel so much more accomplished.
I always have to prioritize my sleep. So like if I wake up at 5 a.m., I need to go to bed at 9 p.m. to make sure I accomplish.
I crawl into bed at 8:30.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, here's another one. This one is like, Mark Zuckerberg only wears clothes that have been blessed by Buddhist monks.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's not true.
It's not true. But it's kind of funny.
I have to ask, Joanne, did you come up with these 100% on your own? Because that's an interesting detail to throw in there. Blessed by, let's say, a Buddhist monk. There we go.
You just never know. You never know.
Okay.
You never know. Okay. Michelle Obama works out at 4:30 a.m. before starting her day.
I'm going to say that's habit.
It is habit for her. Yes. She's known for her early morning workout. Okay.
And I would say hail to the no on that one.
But go on. A controversial figure. Elon Musk takes ice baths in kombucha tea to boost creativity.
Takes ice bath in the kombucha tea?
Yes.
Fiction. That's not true.
It is fiction, but you just don't know about that one.
I was going to say, why did you think that one was fiction? And then I'm going to tell you why I thought it was fiction.
If it was an ice bath, I would say true all day long. But in tea,
my point was like, that's expensive. I know he's like a billionaire, but still, the man has got to be thoughtful of his money in some places. I'd be like, nah, a whole bathtub every morning full of tea. That's expensive.
Yeah. No.
Especially the kombucha tea.
You just know.
I'm like,
$2 a can.
It is a kombucha, like has a slight level of like alcohol in it. I feel like that's not great for your skin to absorb, but like your fermentation. Yeah. But like, I'm like, if you're going to do something like that, like take your coffee grounds, because like caffeine is great for the under eyes, right? Like I bet you could do like some coffee grounds and take an ice bath like that. Like that might make more sense, but the kombucha,
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Can you imagine my energy level, Joanne, if I got out of an ice bath with caffeine? It would be like, oh dear God, run away now. She's crazy.
Ice baths are like, it like makes you energetic on a whole new level. It's amazing, but it's very painful going through. Okay, here's the last one.
Yes.
Bill Gates reads for an hour before bed as part of his nighttime routine.
Habit.
Total habit. Yep. Known for his reading habit. I read for an hour before bed for my nighttime routine too, but it's right now fourth wing. So it's not like it benefits my happy states.
Yes. That's the hardest part, is juggling them all.
Yeah.
You got to get them all the different types of reading in.
Yeah. Because I mean, you can't be productive every second of the day. Like if I tried to do that, I would be a very unhappy and grumpy person. So it's
the mind needs rest, the body needs rest. It needs time to be unplugged. And I'm not saying rest in the way of like sleep. I'm saying rest in the way of like, right? Like not having to be working at full capacity.
Yes.
Absolutely. And something like fourth wing, you can be there in the book, you can be present, like you're able to shut off, especially if as a business owner, you're able to shut off all the business stuff in the day to day because you're dived into this book and the storyline behind it. That's like,
it's amazing.
It's
Have
like
you read
therapy.
It? Have you read Fourth Wing?
I have not read Fourth Wing yet, no, but I've heard a lot about it.
It's a good one.
I was going to say, you can tell she knows about it.
Yes.
It's a good one. A little spicy, a little uncomfortable spicy. So like reading in public, really uncomfortable spicy.
Don't do that one.
Yeah, don't do that one. So Kaitlyn, this is something that we ask everybody. What is something that you're really excited about that's coming up in your life?
I'm just excited for where we are taking LadyBoss. We have a lot of big things up and coming up our sleeves. And so I'm excited to do that. But my passion and my mission is to help women find themselves inside of themselves that's been hiding, that's been buried. And we've got, it's not our event, but LadyBoss is going to an event actually in Scottsdale in September. Yes. And so I'm really excited because it's a woman's event about all different types of industries, entrepreneurs, moms, health, wellness. It's the whole thing. And so I'm really excited that LadyBoss gets to have a presence there and be there and just have that experience to expand our footprint and continue to help women find themselves.
That is
Joanne,
awesome.
I'm predicting a work meeting in Scottsdale in September for us.
We should definitely meet
We
up.
might have to make something happen, huh?
I think so.
Well, thank you, Kaitlyn, for being on. It's been wonderful talking with you, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
So I love that conversation. And I talked about this whole thing about being a girl's girl at the beginning of the episode. And it's something that my daughter really drives home for me because I see it's huge in their whole generation where they're constantly complimenting each other and saying how gorgeous each other is. And so she was schooling me on Instagram comments the other day. And she's like, when somebody comments on your Instagram post and they're like, gorgeous, you have to give that positivity back and return it. So if someone's like, oh, you're gorgeous, you're like, thank you, beautiful. Or if depending, one of her friends says she's amazing, she's like, oh, thanks, you slinky devil, because that's her friend. So she's making sure to put her comments directly towards her. But it's all about this girl's girl mentality where it's not just a thank you, it's a thank you and you're amazing as well. So I love it, actually. I think it's a great thing.
I love that mentality. Yes. That tells me we're doing something right with this generation that we're raising, of teaching them to continue to spread the positivity and, support one another, especially women.
Our generation, I think, is like that. We agree we should support one another. But I think that there is so much. There's so much of that competition-based thing that you have to compete with other women that we saw our parents talk about, that we saw depicted in media and on TV, that it infiltrated our brains a little bit. And it has not infiltrated our kids' brains because we're the ones it stopped with. So seeing that is great.
I agree. That gives me hope for the future, which is that makes me feel like this whole episode is hopeful then. It's hopeful on many levels.
It's helpful because Kaitlyn is amazing. Her company is amazing and what she's doing to change women and change women's health. Go check out LadyBoss if you haven't already. And remember, the best mom's a happy mom. Take care of you. And we'll talk with you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You can also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.